So to kick things off, can you tell us a little bit about your funding round and your lead investment?
Of course. So the total funding round is approximately 1.8 million pounds. We currently have 1.275 million currently invested. That was invested by both myself and our chairman, Jonathan Milner. So we're currently seeking an additional 525,000 to wrap up the round. And importantly, that will carry us through our critical FDA guidance that we expect here in Q3.
Perfect, thank you. So you mentioned a few of your team members in the pitch, and which of your team members have a background in pharmaceuticals?
So again, our chairman, Jonathan Milner, founder of Abcam, that I think everybody might certainly here in Cambridge be very well aware of. Myself, I'm a industry veteran, been in the pharmaceutical industry for over 20 years. We have Sarah Oakley-Mudge, Dr. Sarah Oakley-Mudge, excuse me, and Dr. Sarah Fritchley, both with phenomenal success in startups, as well as large pharmaceutical organizations, including Sanofi and Genzyme. We have a phenomenal team on board. I've worked with teams in Australia, Slovenia, Copenhagen, London, all over the world, and never before have I seen such a sharp, phenomenal team.
Great, thank you. So you previously raised on SyndicateRoom back in 2017?
Correct.
And what have you achieved so far since then?
Right. So I believe since the last close for SyndicateRoom, December 2017, not only have we supported our commercial clinic at the Cambridge Peanut Allergy Clinic, Cambridge University Hospital, in treating an additional roughly 100 patients or so, but importantly, the team has laid some really critical groundwork that doesn't really get appreciated, but so critical when you're developing a product for human therapeutics. These critical steps are the underlying foundation of any pharmaceutical business, including analytical method validations, quality systems that have to be just exact in order to meet the very, very high standards of ethical pharmaceuticals. And importantly, and just most recently, the team has collaborated and delivered our drug master file to the FDA, which we're phenomenally excited to see the results of here coming up in Q3.
Thank you. And do you have any other successes from the commercial clinic that you would like to share?
We do. We'll have some upcoming presentation on a global stage, actually. The team, and specifically Dr. Clark and Dr. Ewan, submitted for presentation some of the data from what I call CPAC, the Cambridge Peanut Allergy Clinic, and that was accepted for oral poster presentation at one of the world's largest congresses of professional allergists, EAACI, here in Lisbon in June. So we're very excited for them to present that data and further showcase the overwhelming success and safety that we're seeing with this product.
Okay.
So we'll follow up with the SyndicateRoom and with all of our investors in June with updates when we present that data.
Perfect. And is Camallergy UK based or international?
So currently, Camallergy, our corporate headquarters and global headquarters is Cambridge. I'm of course based in the United States. Part of me bringing me onto the team was to help further that expansion into what is arguably the world's largest pharmaceutical market by dollars, of course, the United States. So my focus is really commercial efforts, getting us teed up and getting us prepared to both enter the FDA in our final clinical trial, as well as seek out potential partnerships and execute early stage commercial strategy for the US and in Europe.
And who are your competitors and how do you differ from them?
So there are a number of competitors out there in the allergy space. There are two primary that are the most publicly well known. One is Immune Therapeutics. They're publicly traded on NASDAQ with a market cap of approximately 1.3 billion pounds. Immune Therapeutics has a very similar therapy to ours. It is also an oral immunotherapy. However, they have a very different treatment regimen that we call a rush protocol on day one. And then yet it takes a much longer time to actually get to that bite-proof safety level that we can get to within 4 months. It's tough to compare and contrast unless you're running a head-to-head clinical trial, of course, but in a non-head-to-head comparison, we see remarkable benefits for CA002 with regards to safety, tolerability, patient's preference for the formulation, and overall compliance, which is critical when treating these patients. If you're not taking your drug, you're not getting treated. And our patients have remarkable compliance. Therefore, we're seeing such a high level of efficacy at the end of the day. Second competitor, we're not so much concerned with them anymore. They have a patch therapy. It's called Viaskin. Also a publicly traded company, DBV Therapeutics, DBVT. Their market cap is approximately 300 million pounds. But unfortunately, they've had some trouble with both regulatory and clinical trial success. Fortunately for us, although we're still private, the public markets are now turning their attention to what's next in this space, and what next is Camallergy.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Baxter. I think that's all the questions that I have. So we'll head over to online questions, Marcin.
Thanks very much for the pitch, Baxter. First question is, your pitch says you're generating revenue. Is the drug on the market?
No, so the drug is not on the market. We are generating revenue by our service to Cambridge Peanut Allergy Clinic. But in order for this drug to officially be licensed and be on the market, we have to conduct our proper phase 3 clinical trial, again, both here in Europe as well as in the US. We project market approval in 2022.
So the patients at the Cambridge Peanut Allergy Clinic are paying customers as well?
Indeed, they are.
The next question is it a pill you swallow?
That's a great question. It is not. It is a capsule that has very specific amounts of peanut protein, and more specifically of the exact immunogenicity profile for each dosing level inserted into a capsule. We take the capsule. Typically, mom or dad will do this if it's an adolescent. It gets sprinkled over yogurt, applesauce, some type of easy food to ingest, mixed in, and the child consumes the food with the medication mixed in.
Thank you very much. How far along is your FDA application?
So we just submitted the drug master file, and effectively what that means, it's all of our CMC, which is chemistry, manufacturing, and control systems that the FDA likes to see and likes to evaluate. We've submitted the phase 2 clinical study data. We've submitted our phase 1 clinical study data. We're also submitting a bolus of information coming out of the Cambridge Peanut Allergy Clinic. So the FDA is going to look at all of this information and evaluate where they think we specifically are in the process. Our conversation with the agency and our belief is that we are indeed ready for phase 3. And in fact, the FDA asked us to provide them with our phase 3 pivotal protocol, which we have and which they're currently reviewing. So again, a crucial date and a crucial valuation inflection point for the company will be Q3 of 2019 when we get that feedback from the agency and have a much more clear path which direction we will be moving forward.
Thank you. Exit strategy, question mark?
So for right now, I think the team is quite committed to developing this ourselves. When you have the best, you want to keep the best. We have the best treatment for peanut allergy that we know of. So for right now, we are moving forward, marching forward, and to develop this drug ourselves. Eventually, with the support of the SyndicateRoom round, this will bridge us over into the FDA guidance. That will create a major valuation inflection for us that will allow us to go off and seek further capital, which we're calling our pre-IPO round, and ultimately, which will also incorporate the potential for a future IPO in the near term.
Perfect, thank you. Where do you get the peanuts for the capsules?
So the team, and this is our business co-founder or business founder, Sheridan Timmons, and current chief operating officer. He scoured the world looking for a pharmaceutical source of peanut flour. Of course, Immune Therapeutics, the company we referenced earlier, they have their own source in the United States where Camallergy used to get their peanut flour. And Immune blocked us out and blocked many people out, creating exclusivity license. Sheridan found a phenomenal source in the Southern Hemisphere. We somewhat protect its location, its disclosure, because it's so critical to our future. But it is a qualified pharmaceutical peanut flour source that we currently utilize in CPAC today.
Thank you very much. It does sound very
And sorry, it's also our own exclusive source, if I didn't reiterate that. So it is ours and no others can use it.
Thank you very much. Next question. You say you're looking to raise approximately $40 million in Q2 2019. Will this be a huge dilution for existing shareholders?
That's a great question. Again, the valuation inflection and why I invested in this round myself personally is that I think the valuation at where we are right now is so remarkably low for how far advanced this company is. When we receive that feedback from the agency, the market comps which suggest, and I'm not saying that this would be our market cap on a private level, but market comps where Immune was, where DBV was, at the same time of development are in the ballpark of 600 to 700 million pounds. And in fact, I think DBV was even higher. So when we have that critical feedback laid out, we will see an amazing valuation leap for the company that I think will translate into either attenuating, if not completely ameliorating any dilution.
Thank you very much. Do you have any IP? Is it easy to replicate what you're doing?
We do have IP covering our treatment, our formulation. The IP extends out to 2032. Claims in Europe, claims in the United States, claims pending in Canada, of course. Is it easy to replicate? It can be. But the difficulty, as I alluded to before, is so much of the critical underlying work of our chemistry, of our manufacturing, of our controls. It is not just grinding up peanut flour and giving it to children. The FDA, the EMA, the MHRA, they all require very specific, rigid controls of when you generate this for a pharmaceutical product, for an ethical pharmaceutical drug. So in order to replicate that, we believe it would take many, many years. On top of that, we have our own patents, competitors' patents, of which we do not violate, that any new entrant would have to navigate as well. Additionally, we have market exclusivity, both in the United States and in Europe. Our product will be conferred with 10 years and 12 years of market exclusivity, which will prevent any new generic or biosimilar player to come in and reference our data and piggyback off of our hard work.
Thank you very much. Who else is investing in this round?
So currently, the three primary investors are our chairman, Jonathan Milner. I invested myself, and then I believe the SyndicateRoom Growth Fund has also invested, and we thank the SyndicateRoom very much. We currently have earmarked an additional approximate 100,000 pounds from previous investors, and we certainly hope to attract more as we kick off this round and close this at the end of May.
Perfect. And finally, last question is, have you started speaking with investors who you hope will finance the 40 million
Absolutely.
Funding round?
I talked to them this morning. No, that's my one of my primary roles at the company. Our chief operating officer, the tech ops team, our clinical team, they do such a great job running everything behind the scenes. It frees me up to quite literally speak with investors, with bankers, with Wall Street analysts, day in, day out. And that's what I've been doing, slowly introducing the company, teasing up the company, and teeing up the company to get us ready to really launch into our larger round. And the investors I'm speaking to are some of the primary and largest holders of Aimune, of DBV. They find our story remarkable. They find that we're differentiated, and they're very excited to see us. And in fact, many of, or most of the larger shareholders of both companies have either sold out or significantly decreased their positions in interest or in future interest of evaluating Camallergy.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. And thank you, Baxter. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you so much.